Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. This report is for the 4th. Well, more difficulties for Powell in this situation as the numbers continue to come in showing the economy not in horrible condition according to their own numbers. So it makes that rate cut look really suspicious at a minimum. However, like we were talking about before, even though we're in this weak readings here from MBI readings, the reality was we were in rising gold, so we suspected that we were going to be holding the supports, and we've done exactly that, floating around the ABM yellow and then slightly above here as bottom line was the ABM green. So nothing all that dire or catastrophic, but just some softness easing into what was already the buildup after the big pump going into it. It's one of those again. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Not much of a sell for the news because that was a pretty big rate cut, which means lots of free money. So kind of puts a floor, so to speak, on where things are going. Port strike resolved, so that obviously is going to be a help from a broader standpoint. Unfortunately, you still have the world conflict situation, and of course, Biden mentioned that possible Iranian oil tankers or fields might be hit, and of course, that is exactly the opposite kind of rhetoric the market wants to hear, because that's just going to send inflation into catastrophic zone. Of course, Treasury's here. You see the yield. Nobody wants Treasury at these rates, so yield continuing to rise as it drops there, and that's the problem. And this is it right there. Oil shooting back up into that low mid-range 70s, but if it gets above the 75 level, then yeah, look out. This is already going to start a new cycle of price pressure push. Of course, you see the wage increases for striking port workers. That's going to continue to spread, and wage inflation is always the biggest negative, at least from an inflation impact, because it starts to spread rapidly throughout. And we saw it in food and everything else with oil prices and that, and then supply constrictions. But when you get wage growth increase, then you start to multiply on top of it, because again, more dollars chasing fewer goods, and it's a classic supply demand issue, and everything starts to rise accordingly. So it just creates a new cycle. Now, bonus side of that, real estate, even though they've struggled with the higher interest rates, at the end of the day, just like in the 70s, real estate, more than doubled overall. So while there'll be fits and spurts up and down, it's one of those questions: if you can sustain the elevated interest rate period, then you're sitting pretty with the increase in overall value. Well, it's not even an increase in value; it's a devaluation of the dollar, just not represented in the asset being held. And of course, the euro going to continue to suffer as long as oil continues to rise, and so that will be predicate on what happens with the Iranian situation. Gold continuing, it's not going to stop, so I don't have to talk about it. It's just going to be floating back and forth. And the same with crypto. They're going to find their support range within these areas, and particularly if oil and that sustains, they'll find a whole new spark catalyst to drive them higher. And the same here with ETH. They've been in kind of a weak zone simply because of sustained issues related to them. But here you go for the 50K. Coming off the peak, we keep making lower and lower highs. So that's a net drain, and you can see even now we have MBI white spike. Every time we'll be getting them, we move back towards the zero. So the key will be to find the MBI spike that doesn't reach down to the zero. Then you've got the divergence to the upside. And those are going to usually be pretty strong. When we look at it from an intraday, pretty erratic. And those kind of up-down swings, that's just going to be that option volatility that we expect to see. But at this particular stage, world events are driving the scenario, and someone announces peace, the market will skyrocket. Good luck with that, though. As always, anything relevant, I'll put in the Skype chat. Have a good one. Trade well.